somebody commented on the last live saying that the audio sounded low. So y'all could just make sure.
Anybody get a notification yet?
No, not yet. Alright. Probably a little bit late, but I'm pretty sure it should pop up soon.
Did you ever figure out what was wrong?
Got it? Good? Alright, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, before we even begin, we want to start off by giving all the honor, all the praise, and all the glory to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem Harashai, Ba'ashem Kakrash.
The honors to the elder apostles and bishops to the great Wilson that rule well, and as always, peace, blessings, and salutations to the tabernacle of David, the 04 elect, that are scattered right across the four winds of the earth. And it's another live in the spirit, so he's going to go according to whatever direction the spirit takes us. But there's always a lot to cover, as we see, major events, major things that are taking place in the world, dealing with prophecy, of course. It's always good to continue to, stay alert and pay attention to, these different world events that are happening, because, the Lord, he pretty much said, when all these things come to pass, our salvation draws nigh. All right, the increase of conflict, on the other side of the world, when you got this the least of the flock, putting more and more pressure on Babylon to get drawn into this war, with all this back and forth attacks between the U.S. and Iran. That's all prophetic, man. It's always constant updates. It's always, you can't even keep up. And one thing I'll say, as far as being here in Babylon, in the States, where the media is biased, so you're only going to see one perspective or one narrative. But if you listen to the mainstream media on Babylon's end, they'll tell you up and down that we're defeating them, we're destroying their military.
Same thing they said about Ukraine.
Yeah, same exact thing. But when you look at the information coming from alternative sources or unbiased sources, America ain't winning this war.
If they would have, they was winning, they would have been over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The fact that you still have to keep, and then you still have to have a draft.
Yeah.
The Israeli IDF, they're trying to get the Orthodox small hats to join their army, but they can't get nobody to want to enlist or join. So they want to get you Americans, all right, because you're going to be the sacrifice for what they got going on. But this is all escalating to that final world's war. And that's one of the major things that we're going into, besides, of course, you still got the earthquakes happening in diverse places, wars, rumors of wars, pestilences, that's constantly going around.
Yeah, you got the viral diarrhea.
Yeah.
It's not just the Taco Bell cases, but now it's viral diarrhea.
Produce now.
You got the fog, or what is it, the smoke.
Smoke from
Dust,
Canada,
yeah.
from Canada, from the wildfires.
Yeah.
You got the dust that has illborn or not, what do you call it? The illness within it. That's a different one.
Yeah.
So
like a fungal.
Yeah, the fungal one.
The fungal storm.
Fungal dust storm.
Where the symptoms of it is like the yellow fever. So it's a lot happening right now, man.
Lettuce recall for the
yeah, lettuce recalls.
cyclospora.
Yeah. So these are all major plagues that's hitting this place, which the Lord said, he's matter of fact, was that second Ezra 15? The Lord's gonna the plagues are not gonna slack.
16, yeah.
This is one thing after another every day.
You know what?
Over there in Europe, they still the freaking heat wave is killing a bunch of Edomites over there.
1,000.
Yeah, they said like at least 20,000 that dropped dead.
You were talking about the war, and I looked up something real quick. And I asked, did Roman citizens in ancient Rome oppose? I said, did Roman citizens oppose enrolling in the military? And it says yes. Some Roman citizens resisted or opposed military service, particularly when wars became frequent, lengthy, and economically damaging. So
It
it's
costs too much.
yeah, the same thing.
It costs too much.
Yeah.
And the fact that Iran has been strategic in destroying a lot of these U.S. bases all across the Gulf.
Yeah.
They've been having issues with reloading with their munitions.
Yeah.
So that's why every once in a while, Trump got to act like he got some kind of victory, then they go away on some ceasefire deal, you know, but it's really just to give them time to regroup and restock and try to re-strategize, you know, because they're, and I don't know if it was it Colonel McGregor? It was one of those guys. It was basically saying how America is so spread thin right now that they really can't win no war except from within. Meaning the only war that they can win is against their own citizens.
Right.
Think about that.
I got a headline real quick. It says Iran damaged a significant number of U.S. Black Hawk helicopters worth $21 million each in strikes on Jordan.
Yeah, they're not gonna tell you that. Who was that? Pete Hegseth in the beginning of all of this? They was talking real proud. He said, "Man, we can continue on this war for as long as we want to." That's when the stockpile was high.
Yeah.
But now that it's depleted, you got Trump. You know, recently he told Ford, he like, "We need y'all to stop producing the cars. We need y'all to produce these defense weapons." Now.
Yep. Yep. Because hey, we in the time of war. You know, when they changed the Department of from Defense to the Department of War, you should already know what time it was. But that's because the Lord, he's a man of war, and this is that time. You know, all leading to the final war, because after this war, there ain't gonna be no more wars on the earth. Once we in the kingdom, once Yahweh Shai comes back in the midst of this war and take all these nations out, we're gonna be the ones that's gonna be put in power. All right? So this is gonna be the final one. So yeah, like it says in Joel, beat your plowshares into pruning hooks, and it's like you beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Basically prepare for war. So that's all this is. You got it, huh?
Yep, this is 2nd Ezra 16, 17. And I'm gonna jump down to what you called for, about the, the birth pains. It said, 2nd Ezra 16, 17, woe is me, who will deliver me in those days. The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear. The beginning of evils, what shall I do when these evils shall come? Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sending scourges for many. And for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor always be mindful of the scourges.
And that's why it's going to continue to get worse. You know, the conditions, you know, the economic damage, all of it is going to continue to increase. And you're going to be more and more affected by it. So that's why it says the beginning of mournings. So as a result of these effects, there's going to be more and more people depressed, more people crashing out, more people displeased, you know, with the government, you know, and that's what we can expect to see. More widespread sedition, division, racial tension. You know, shit. Right now, the super rich, they're still hoarding up resources and things for survival, and they're getting out of Dodge. They're moving into trying to move into safe places, away from, you know, these major cities where all the people are in these areas where it's, you know, it's densely is heavily populated and it's limited resources.
A lot of them leaving Babylon.
Yeah.
Yeah, when it said they shall not turn from their wickedness, who the only people that can repent? The Israelites.
Yep.
Who can only turn from their wickedness? The Israelites. You know, the so-called Negro Latino Native American. That's why the Lord's only dealing with his elect. He's not dealing with all of Israel because they're not going to repent.
Right.
You know, they're stuck in the Babylonian American mindset, which they get that from Babylon, the Greeks, Romans, worshiping their idols and gods. You know, the majority of our people are lost, man, and the Lord gonna keep them lost until they're destroyed, man. You know, 2/3 of our people gotta be wiped out, man. So our Lord bringing these wars and pestilences and, you know, all these things, you know, of culling, you know, of death, evils, you know, is to kill off a lot of our people, man. You know?
That's why I said there should be greater evils than those which thou hast seen happen shall be done hereafter. It's a balance. It's the match of the evils that the elder is speaking of. That our people, first and foremost, it's for our people, but it's going to be upon everybody because the what did it say? The wickedness has exceedingly polluted the whole earth.
Jumping back to 37, jumping toward 37, second Age 16:37, behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slack. As when a woman with child in the 9th month bringing forth her son, with 2 or 3 hours of her birth great pains compass her womb, which pains? When the child cometh forth, they slack not a moment. Even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn, and sorrow shall come upon it on every side.
Good. It is much needed. And I'm glad you jumped down to that from the verse that you read, because it talks about how even though the Lord's bringing these scourges, you know, they're not going to turn from their wickedness. So because of that, what does the Lord got to do? He got to bring the pain.
Jake's so simple, they don't recognize a scourge. You know, it has to be a epic, monumental event like an earthquake in Venezuela, some type of tsunami, or some type of landslide or something to get Jake's attention. But it has to be rapid. It just can't be one isolated event that happened. Oh, it happened in January. It's July now, and niggas forget. It needs to be on. It's gonna be plagues on top of plagues, and that's what the prophets are, you know, warning you that when these plagues become to be so unbearable, that's when Jake is going to seek the Heavenly Father. That's when Jake is going to seek the prophets.
When something of that magnitude happens, it's going to be too late. That's why we always mention the fog and the warm water. That's like right now, like the elder read about the birth pains, and Jake don't, like you said, they don't recognize the scourges because Jake keep on making excuses. Oh, this been happening like this. This been going on, but they don't understand. Like them birth pains. When that woman is in labor, those contractions, they get more and more frequent, and they get more and more intense, leading up to the delivery. So when we see these things happening in the earth, it's not just the same thing going on, the same level. It's getting more and more intense, man. From the type of plagues that's going in the earth, the natural disasters, the tension between the people, everything is getting more intense.
The type of plagues, it's like the Lord is plaguing what you think is healthy lettuce.
Right.
He ain't plaguing that.
Yep.
You know, if I'm gonna eat healthy.
I think I heard something about cilantro being affected too. So it's just either way, you know, it's going to be something. You know, and that's why, you know, those of us, you know, that are remaining under the secret place of the Lord, you know, we're going to have that divine hedge from, you know, all these different things that the Lord's going to bring upon His world. You know, the Lord's going to, you know, by His mercies and His compassions, He's going to make sure that we're good. You know, because other than that, the world is facing death, man. It's facing death. Okay, you got this rare cancer that's plaguing children in California. Ladera Ranch or somewhere like somewhere in California.
Bunch of rich,
like a rich area where a bunch of Edomites that are, you know, rich, they get hit with rare cancers.
Yeah, out of I think the community, they say it's basically like I think 70 to 80 cases a year for this particular cancer, man. And you have like 3 to 5 of kids over there, they're actually affected with that cancer.
And it can't be cured, there's no cure or nothing for it.
That's definitely with Edomites. And it has to be something around there, obviously, that's causing it. And I don't know if it's a data center down there, but it's some power wires, something causing that. You know, what you say? Yeah, it could be data center, it could be some type of signal or some type of cell tower or some shit, but you know, kids ain't really, you know, go ahead.
It's not blaming because
No, you got it.
Just saying how so many is being affected at one time. It's not hereditary. It's not.
Right, that's what I was gonna say.
It's like a virus.
It's not common for like, okay, you got 1,000 kids in the school and 50 catch cancer. Like, nah, that's not common.
Yeah, there's what you call it. Residents were basically saying that it could be the pesticides and things that they were spraying on the grass.
Yeah.
The kids are out there playing in it.
Rolling on grass and shit. Yeah.
And then the HOA for their community basically stated, nah, these are the same type of patterns that or the same type of chemicals that we've been spraying to treat, you know, the grass and the stuff out there. So hey, they don't give a fuck, basically.
They don't treat grass with water.
Right.
Hey, I got a precept slide. Mark 16-18. Now this is for the elect, right? You know, you're talking about all these pestilences that, you know, is killing off these, you know, these people. You know, it said, NLT. They said they will be able to handle snakes with safety, and if they drink anything poisonous, it won't hurt them. They will be able to place their hands on the sick, and they will be healed.
Yeah, we're gonna be good as long as we stay within that hedge, which ultimately you gotta stay in the faith, you know, and do what you're supposed to do, you know. But the Lord, he's not gonna let up, man. He ain't gonna play around with these people. All right, he's every day is always like some new disease or some new outbreak or some new something spreading around.
Or update on the AI or MOTB, transhumanism, something, bank accounts and ATMs. You know, it's every day is some new prophecy, man.
We're not even talking about the Venezuela earthquake no more.
Right.
It did pass. The whole news. It's all news, man.
They still catch.
Meanwhile, they're still buried under that rubble.
Yeah.
Right.
That total just hit 5,000.
Yeah. It's crazy, man.
Yeah. And that ain't nothing. That ain't nothing. You know? We're still in the beginning of it.
We're just getting started.
It's all just getting started, man. It's gonna get so unbearing, we ain't gonna be able to be out there. Just imagine that. When the prophets ain't, that means the Lord is done talking. When we're no longer able to be out there, the Lord's done talking.
Warning's over.
Warning's over with. You have you have ample time.
What was it, John 9? They coming that no man can work.
Come.
I guess. This is Deuteronomy 28, verse 58 in the NLT. It says, if you refuse to obey all the words of instruction that are written in this book, if you do not fear the glorious and awesome name of the Lord your God, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, then the Lord will overwhelm you and your children with indescribable plagues. These plagues will be intense and without relief, making you miserable and unbearably sick.
Man, now you still got the West Nile virus making its rounds. You know, you got the ticks. You got what the brother was mentioning about the virus that gives you diarrhea, explosive diarrhea. But it also like other symptoms, bad headache, rise in temperature,
There was a
aches in your
bronchial.
muscles.
There was a bronchial one about when you breathing, a pneumatic. It's for when you're breathing. It almost gives you symptoms like pneumonia that kind of been under the radar. But they've been throwing all these viruses out there, and eventually one gonna stick.
I got a little more. It says, verse 60, he will afflict you with all the diseases of Egypt that you fear so much, and you will have no relief. the Lord will afflict you with every sickness and plague there is, even those not mentioned in this book of instruction.
And like a new rare form of this virus or this disease, you know, and you know, there's no cure for it. You know, like it's always something. And it mainly, I'll say this: Esau be getting played the most. You know, and I say that's part of the scriptures as well. This is one of them, Deuteronomy 7:15. It says, "The Lord will take away from thee all sickness, and will put none of the evil diseases of Egypt, which thou knowest, upon thee, but will lay them upon all them that hate thee."
And that was dope that it applied to our people back then, but now it applies to the elect, not everybody. Okay, I'm saying to escape those things, because when you read into the volume of the book, basically, it's talking about how the elect escape the perils of these end times. You know,
They gotta go through them.
they go through them, but they make it through.
Yeah.
Right? They don't get the victory. They get the victory over these things. The elected. I looked up the word overwhelmed when he read. It says to overwhelm means to completely overpower. You know, it's talking about plagues and situations, right?
Jesus.
You have diseases and stuff. It says bury, right? Like the earthquake overwhelmed those people. Two of them, one of them was probably bad enough. Two of them back to back, and then a storm on top of that. Not good, right?
Texas. Texas is flooded.
Flooded,
What is
yeah.
it? Dang, what part of Texas is that?
My mom said it was raining.
Like, can't think of it. Was it Fort Worth? Not Fort Worth. Maybe something like that.
I was thinking of that water main break in, was it Hollywood or somewhere?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Plague after plague. People ain't ready for all of these things.
No,
Like
so-
I said, this is
There's
life.
so much happening at once. Like you saw them monster fucking tornadoes in China.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah,
crazy,
yeah.
bro.
Someone said in the comments that should look like the end of the world.
Yeah, something apocalyptic.
Mhm.
Yeah, the Moabites just as wicked as you saw too.
Yep.
Yeah, they've been getting jacked up with some floods. I mean, landslides, floods over there.
Mhm.
Plus, on top of that, the tornado the brother mentioned.
Yeah, the thing about Moab, what makes them so wicked, is Esau comes up with these diabolical plans, but Moab will go out and figure out how to make them come to pass.
Oh yeah, they execute.
Through technology, yeah.
Yeah.
They really try that shit.
They're leaders in the New World Order.
Yep,
Mhm.
exactly. It also says in this overwhelmed definition, it says, bury, right? It says, or defeat someone or something. It most commonly describes an emotional or a mental state where demands, emotions, or sensory inputs become too much to handle. So it's cool. Well, it ain't cool, but say all this is happening to you, but you're gonna also be overwhelmed mentally and emotionally, completely overwhelmed by these plagues.
That's why it says in Luke, as well as I think it's in Luke, when it says that the nations will be distressed. There will be distress of nations with
Yep.
perplexity.
Yeah.
When you're being overwhelmed and overtaken by, extreme crisis,
Mm-hmm.
with all these type of disastrous events, you start to your will, your morale starts to break.
Yeah.
You know, you start to become pessimistic.
Right.
You know.
A lot of people are gonna suffer. Like a lot of people like to be in control. But one thing they're gonna realize as these plagues increase, like you were saying, what do you call it, multi-crisis, you have no control. Your control that you have, that even things in your own home, you won't be able to control. You won't be able to control your wife, your kids. Tell them, oh, don't go out here, don't do that. You know, because the times are gonna be it's gonna be so overwhelming that the so-called leader of the family, they gonna lose it. You know? It's just gonna be an overwhelming on all aspects. It's like you have no control. You can't buy your way out of this situation. You can't shoot your way out of these situations.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like it's really a dead end for all these wicked ass people out here.
I got a precept, but to land back up what you're saying, also to add to it, when we talk about how did you say it? Get your house in order. That's part of it. Your family should be trusting that you're moving in the spirit of Yahweh Shem Shah by the time this all goes down. That's where, among other elements of getting your house in order. Your own self, your own mind, your own body, all of these other things, but also the minds and emotions of those that you're responsible for should all kind of be falling in line as we're moving closer and closer to this thing. Now, is that going to be perfect? Of course not. Some people are going to have to see it, and then they'll kind of snap into it, which we know the scriptures say that. But at the end of the day, the natural mind is going to want to do its natural thing, and that's when we're embedding the spirit of Yahweh Shem Shah to keep us calm and stable in these moments, and not to be overwhelmed when these things come to pass. I had a quick one. Amos chapter 5 verse 18 in the GNT. Yeah, this is GNT. Matter of fact, I'm gonna start up. No, it starts at 18. It says, how terrible it will be for you who long for the day of the Lord. What good will that day do you? For you, it was showing us that we got to go through it as well, right? Even for us, everybody got to go through this, right? It says,
you got simple ass Christians that believe that there's gonna be a pre-tribulation rapture where they just gonna get snatched up and it ain't going to go through no type of trouble.
Wicked, the whole life, day before the rapture, before the day of the Lord, they get it, or when it's beginning, they get themselves over to JC, and now they skip it all.
The other in South Carolina who's going over that, he said, ain't nowhere in the scriptures does it say rapture, the word rapture.
Mm-hmm.
Or where do they get that idea from? It's not in the scriptures.
Mythology. It's all mythological. It says, it will be like someone who runs from a lion and meets a bear, or someone who comes home and puts his hand on the wall only to be bitten by a snake.
Yeah, kind of, those are personified as troubles.
Yep.
Right? It likens the trouble into a lion, a bear, and then safety, going into that house, thinking your hand up on the wall, thinking you're at rest, some type of peace. And then the Lord actually bringing your end to you, man.
So it sneaks up on you and really takes you out, right?
Thinking you right when you think you escaped, you're in a safe haven. With 1 Thessalonians 4, was it 4 or 5? It says when they say peace and safety.
Yep, fine.
That go right along with those plagues that we read about earlier in Second Ezra. When that woman she goes into labor, she don't get no break.
Yep.
She don't get no rest. It just
they come back to back and get more frequently. And all you really, what I've heard, right, that when a woman is going through it, it's like, that one was crazy pain. Then it's the break between, and as they get closer and closer, all you're looking for is that break in between to catch your breath. Well, eventually, you got to get the baby out. It's got to come to pass completely, and that's no different than the scriptures speak on this day in the event. You wish it would be hours, like real labor, a woman giving labor, but this is gonna be over a period of time. And it's gonna break a lot of people. It's gonna break a lot of people that believe that we're not of the elect, right?
Especially you women.
Yeah.
Hey, Elder Apostle Arama was just doing a lesson going in on you women, and he just did a simple Google search about how women are they're most prone or susceptible to a crisis, like how they're affected by crisis.
Mm-hmm.
They're the ones that are more prone to more
Complacency.
I'm trying to think of the term that was used, but basically they suffer. They suffer the most.
Yeah.
In a widespread crisis, when the whole society is affected and breaking down, women are usually vulnerable, and they're the ones that will be targeted the most. By violence. They will be the first ones to die, besides the elderly.
And give up.
All
like
that.
The road.
Yeah, that's a movie. I was going to use that quote, but then it made me think of how society's going, right? What do you think, if it's between you, like the road, it made me think from the road, what do you think I'm going to use to, who I'm going to care for more, my child or my woman? of course my child, especially if it's a son, that's gonna one day be a man that can help me. I'm gonna care for my son. You're supposed to be helping me to protect this guy, and we protect each other. But they shut down like she did in the movie. She just walked out,
Yeah.
no code, no nothing, just gave up.
Speaking of wars, it's a gender war.
Exactly.
A war between men and women. It's a
Mhm.
cold war now.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
men and women are not really dealing with each other. Dealing with marriage and family unity.
Mhm.
The Lord set all that up. Man.
And that's supposed to be a strong defense against the world, basically. You're supposed to have that so you don't get caught up in the ills of men running around trying to get with other women and women of the night, and you can build your legacy and your family. It's supposed to be something big for that, but that's broken. That backbone of having a woman to nurture and to soothe you, to calm you down in times of trouble, and her belief and trust in you is supposed to make you feel good and empowered. That's gone. So you're dealing with this these days that we're talking about. You're gonna be dealing with it on your own. That's why you gotta be in the spirit of Yahweh Shem Shai. And you're gonna show the women that are gonna flock to the elect what it's like to be the woman of the Lord.
And the thing about it is, it's going to be so different now because various captivities before our women, they was like, we were in order somewhat.
Mm-hmm.
This is now our women, they're completely gone. They not in. They've been fed that mind state by the serpent that they can do it themselves.
Yep.
And a lot of them really believe that shit now because they have the resources. They can make more money than the man. They go ahead, bro.
I mean, cut you off.
No, you got it.
It's like it made me think of like you put a child in the pool with a float, and they feel like they're doing something, But
Mhm.
once that float pops, it's like
Or they
Or
fall through.
take the training wheels off.
Yeah.
And go
you never was
straight.
able to swim. You
Yeah.
just had the illusion of
Yeah,
swimming.
yeah, yeah.
Just think about how unfair I say the advantage is right now between men and women, man. Hey, here it is. You have one sect of individuals, who are catered to, who Esau is given the privilege of winning in courts, basically winning in life, essentially. And now you bring them back into reality that now it's just man against woman. They're gonna bug out. Here they had the whole sentiment that we're better, we make more. We don't need no niggas because this is how our women talk,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden they're put into an environment where, they all factors are against them, man. Nature itself.
I got a quick break.
Yeah, I got it.
Micah 7:10. So I spoke on the Cold War, right, between men and women.
Yeah.
Now, this is gonna be a hot war.
Yeah.
Then she that is my enemy shall see it, and shame shall cover her, which said unto me, where is the Lord thy God? My eyes shall behold her, now shall she be trodden down as the mire of the streets. And that's where the Cold War gonna start, man. The economy is in the tubes. Hyperinflation about to set in, and complete anarchy is about to take over this place, America. Man. So, what do you think? Where a woman's place is gonna be in a complete anarchical society? Man? They're gonna be spoils of war. They're gonna be booty, man. You still gonna have some, stupid ass women thinking this, her feminism probably gonna kick in and talk shit to a man, but you in the wrong time, baby. That's when that man gonna beat you down, man. And you ain't gonna have no police to come save you.
Or the ones that think they're gonna do it themselves because they at the range, they practicing martial arts. If it was ever a time for the female-male dynamic to be strong, it's now. This is the time of war.
Because it said, 2 Measures 9, measure the time diligently. A woman ain't got that type of wisdom, man, to measure the time diligently.
And you need a man to do that part. But you can benefit, it's the spirit, because I was thinking about, I saw a video that explained what a pick-me was. I didn't know what that was. I kind of understood it, but I didn't hear somebody actually gave it a definition to it.
Yeah.
And what it means is these feminist women have ostracized and shamed basically women that are doing the things that men want, because they're like, hey, pick me. But in that day, Isaiah 4:1 come around, when it's all crisis and everything that's going on, you're gonna be wanting to get picked.
Yeah, especially because in this world, as long as it's flourishing and it gives these women the desires that they want, the pleasures that they want, it's like the humility is not, it doesn't exist. So when you strip all that, it brings them down back to reality, and now you're in an even playing field with everybody else. So now you gotta be rational now. It's adversity forces people to be rational.
Yep.
To finally like think about their reality, you know?
You got it.
Hey, the one show, the
Bear Grylls.
yeah, the Bear Grylls show.
Yeah.
You know, when they were both placed in the same environment, men on the island and women on one island, it showed completely on who was actually fit to continue in a society that was completely broken down without any technology, you know, without anything, which ultimately,
Kevin Samuels said men down there had electricity
yeah,
after a week. Women were on their deathbed.
Who would be able to survive on an island
Yeah.
without everything already
Build
put
shelter,
in place?
establish order in the
Yeah.
whole, there's a hierarchy in the whole government, set up. They done that amongst the men. Women, the first thing they did is pour out their water. What are you doing? That's the life right there. Like basic, simple.
Firewood.
I didn't see the show. I'm the one to go back and check it out. But in every apocalyptic movie, like I was thinking about The Road, but first I'll speak on Book of Eli. In the Book of Eli, 2 women in the whole movie. Well, there was 3. One of them got off in the first few minutes of the movie. She said, off the top. She got ravished off the top. Same with that, what's that Dave Bautista movie? Bushwick. It wasn't even 5 minutes into the movie, and she was already about to get ravished. As soon as chaos hit, it was a wrap. Okay, then you look at the movie, The Road. There were 2 women in the road, a bunch of men, only 2 women in the road. And one of them walked off before the trouble even happened.
I found this though.
When she went, the other one had a husband. The only woman in the movie that made it to the end had a husband. Okay, and all of this is just to tell you, the spirit's kind of been on women anyway, I've been noticing, but the whole point about it is just so you understand, you can't walk through this alone. As we know, as women of the Lord, we can't walk through it by ourselves.
Yeah, we need the Lord.
Yeah.
Well, we wouldn't make it either. So
Exactly.
you women, how much more you
need us.
definitely need your men. And they're starting to force you women to reconsider, your mindset, because you were mind fucked by the serpent. You went against your nature, and now you're paying for it, especially with all these crises that are happening. You know. Now you don't have the luxury to tell a man if he takes you to get a bite to eat. Well, no, I need something more. Take me to a 5-star. You know, no cheese. Don't take me to no cheesecake. Well, with a food shortage, you ain't even thinking about none of that. But you paying $8 for a dozen of eggs. Now you know what time it is. You gotta think about reality, man. Somebody had something?
I got something. I got Isaiah 32, and I'll start at the top. Behold, a king shall reign in righteousness, and princes shall rule in judgment. And a man shall be as a hiding place from the wind, and a covert from the tempest.
All these events brothers is talking about, all these plagues of Egypt, telling, hey man, don't eat that. Hey, don't walk over here. Watch that. That's ivy. That's just not bushes. That's ivy. That's gonna make, whatever.
Yeah.
Let's stay in. Let's not go. I'll go out tomorrow and grab something. From whatever. We're keeping you away from all the tempests and the troubles, the perils.
Because a man of the Lord is going to have the spirit and have the spirit of reasoning in that time, where a woman's going to be emotional, you think irrational.
I'm hungry. I gotta eat.
Right. Where a man is going to be more level-minded and be able to navigate during the times.
Man gonna think like, you know what? Yeah, we're hungry, but I smell rain or whatever.
Yeah.
Let's wait another 6 hours. We can go another 6 hours.
We might not eat today.
Yeah, that's what just we gonna wait, and then we gonna wait it out to a better situation to line up.
You got to think, wait it out to what? To walk.
Yeah.
because you know
Exactly.
it ain't gonna be just look. We can just go
Hop
to
in
the
the
store,
car.
hop in the car, like
It's a
oh.
convenience store.
Look how much these women bug out when social media is down.
Mm-hmm.
How much more when the economic collapse is in full effect, man. You know, they've been in pleasure for so long that they don't understand the reality. The men face everyday realities that they're going to face even when Daniel 12 or Jeremiah 30, you know, Jacob's trouble come into effect. You know, men are struggling on a real level.
Yep.
You know, so being able to tap into, well, really the men of the Lord being able to tap into the spirit, because regular men, they still gonna be through too. You know, so how much more the woman?
And not even every man is, thinking about the things going on right now. How much more women, they only think about what color nail polish they gonna wear, what kind of foundation and shit, but the word female itself means without faith.
Okay.
So, women need somebody to believe for them.
There's Job 39:17, because Yahweh Hashem Yahushua hath deprived her of wisdom, neither hath he imparted to her understanding.
And well, why did he do that? Why did the Most High do that? So everybody has their role. Men can't make children. Men can't bear children through their own, completely through their loins. They need the connection of man and woman. A woman also needs the connection of the man to keep them locked in with the Most High, and to bring forth life. That's why we know that was it Barclay gland years ago.
Is that
what it was?
One of Pole's wives.
You know, so she got pregnant by herself. Like, stop. But the whole point is they need each other, okay? And the roles are different. There has to be a hierarchy set up, even in the home. And Paul wrote it clearly, but it was clear in Genesis what it was. Right after she went off and made a big decision that you are now paying dividends for today. Okay? With saying, I'm going to go and make the decision to go and tap into this tree and see what it's all about. Now you're going to see what it's all about in these last days. Okay?
Yeah, man. So I just want, this is what the Apostle Ramla had put in his lesson. He said, type in Google search, says, are women affected the most during a crisis than men? And then it says, yes, women are often affected disproportionately by crisis due to systemic inequalities, while men face unique risks like higher mortality in certain conflicts. Women experience exacerbated economic losses, limited healthcare access, and increased risk of gender-based violence during disasters or economic downturns.
Yeah.
So they know, once this all breaks down, if they don't have a husband, hey, you're spoiled.
Yep.
Anything can happen to you.
It's already beginning.
It's already, kidnappings, trafficking.
Yep. Just violence against women.
Yeah, what you people don't know is that the Lord sends guardian angels to protect the elect.
Yep.
So if a woman is without that, man of the Lord, she's not gonna be protected, man. She has to be under the guise of the man of the Lord to be protected, because the Lord sends angels to protect us, the men, and the families of those elect men are gonna be protected, man. Like it says in the second chapter, that children shall not see hell, man. So you women gotta understand that, man. That you women that believe. But a lot of women are gonna come to the men of the Lord when all hell breaks loose. Soon Isaiah 4:1.
And the cool part about that is it's gonna feel like real opportunist, real timely time for you to show up now.
Yeah.
And you're not gonna be the pygmies. Okay?
Another thing,
Just to add to what he just said, this is Hebrews 1:14 in the AMP. It says, are not all the angels ministering spirits sent out by the Most High to serve, accompany, protect those who inherit salvation? Of course they are.
Yeah.
But the elect are going to be protected.
What's going to be the difference between any natural man walking around and the elect? Well, if the game is rigged, the Most High has to have in place how the game is rigged. Okay? And it's the angels that's going to make all the difference. They're holding back the winds of destruction. How important are the operations of the angels? The things that they do is vital. It's the missing thing that people don't think about you know,
Yeah,
the X factor.
a lot of these disasters is
Yeah.
because of the angels getting direct orders from the Most High.
When you narrowly miss an accident, that was an angel that told you to look up real quick, or swerve and switch lanes 2 blocks ahead, or speed up 5 miles an hour more. Just narrowly makes you miss situations. Okay, you know, or be completely. I'm gonna leave 15 minutes early, or 15 minutes late to something, to avoid the situation that's coming. You know, that you're gonna along your path. But wanting you to see it, or you taking any, there's a lot of different variables. That's why I like the movie. Thinking about it was the Adjustment Bureau. They kind of play, you know, it's light and it's, you know, shoot a meat, spit off the bones type thing, but it kind of gives you how angels are set up to protect certain men, you know, and how important certain lives are, and the detriment of having a certain woman, you know, in your life can mess up the mission.
One more, Psalms 91 verse 9 in the AFP. This is because you have made the Lord, who is my refuge, even the Most High, your dwelling place.
Yeah.
No evil will befall you, nor will any plague come near your tent. For he will command his angels in regard to you, to protect and defend and guard you in all your ways of obedience and service. And you know what's interesting? Just as we're to continue to be obedient and serve the Lord, our women are supposed to continue to be obedient and serve us.
It's a direct
Because
reflection.
as we do our job, we get the protection. She do her job, she get the protection from us. That's how it goes.
And when a woman's good to a man, he will bend over backwards for her. No, I mean, no. Because he's thinking like, no, you're too valuable. I don't want to put you at risk. I'll go out, you know, the baby needs something, I'm gonna go out at 10 o'clock at night. But when a woman is just scornful and all of that, you gotta communicate before all of those issues, that negative issues that she could be. You know, fucking go into the store, nobody, you know, you don't even care what happened to her. You don't care you live in a crime neighborhood, you know, you're like, whatever, man, I'm going to sleep, I gotta go to work. You know, your mind is totally different about it. You don't mind if it gets mistreated or beat up.
Right.
You know, so, but it's a lot starts with the attitude, man. That it says service and obedience. That's huge.
Service and obedience. And all it says that a woman shall be saved by childbearing if she continue in faith and charity and
sobriety with holiness with sobriety.
Holiness with sobriety. You know?
That means being sober-mindedly being separate. Meaning she's doing it because it's the right thing to do, not just because, you know, you're a handsome man, or the bedroom game is good or whatever, you know, but because it's the right thing and you are serving that man, and all that comes with being a part of that man.
And that was it on that.
Yeah, it was.
And I know there's more to this. You know, we were just going into.
Yeah.
I don't even know the spirit we was going to start hitting.
I was
It
going to open it up to tie it back in, but I
Yes.
just want to make the point of this though. The reason we're bringing this up is because these perils are going to hit hard, and you got to be able to look past the chaff that gets burned away, you know, that gets caught up in these things, and you're going to have to become immune and hardened, if you will, for lack of a better word that I couldn't think of, but hardened against seeing destruction happen to people around you. Whether it be family, whether it be a stranger, your neighbor, whoever else, you gotta get used to things happening. Your coworker at work, hey, what happened to Bob? Man, I don't know, man, something happened.
Yeah,
He
the
just
truth-
went crazy.
The truth make you know. You know? People facing problems, people you don't know and shit, you know, wow.
Right.
You know, because ultimately, you know, these people, if they don't repent, you're talking about Israel, they gonna die anyway.
I've been seeing him going in on Long Beach Griffey, right?
Yeah.
You can't be, I mean, what can you say? The only thing that he got going for him is that he's still got another day to fight for repentance. And it's an internal fight now for him. He messed up on an outside fight, but making light of his situation. You know, I get it, and that's what you do. But come on now, like this is not a game.
But see, that's the brother read that earlier. second Ezra 16, about the scourge. All this, they're not mindful. That nigga got staples in his head and they're still,
Plus coming out.
boastful and proud, making a joke about it. You know, like nigga, that's a scourge.
And then, if you do start to feel any kind of sensitivity for these people when you see the judgment go out, just remember their regard for the Lord. Just think about how these people treat the Lord or their respect. There's no regard.
Yeah, that's why the Lord does. That's why He does Jake the way He does him. Because He said, "Why should you be stricken anymore? You're gonna revolt more and more." You know, so it's like the Lord gotta. You whooping your son ass, and it's like He'll just let all the and then he's back to doing his shit. And you go and then you catch him again, and then you whoop his ass. You like, you know what? I didn't whoop you hard enough the last time.
Right.
So you whoop his ass even firmer. Then the cry is a little more. You're like, okay, he's a little. He's crying a little louder now, but then he's still like, that still wasn't enough, really. So
He ain't getting it.
yeah, he ain't getting it. So he just go right back to. So it's like, okay,
Right, what's left?
what could I do?
Bring it back to the spirit
It's
world.
like Jake, they
Deuteronomy 21.
Yeah.
He's too fucking stubborn.
Yeah.
He won't listen. So you gotta take his ass out.
It's like to another analogy is like you a coach and you tell a player, hey, don't do this, and they continue to do it. Hey, man, then I say you don't do this, and then the Heavenly Father's the coach. So what happens? Hey, come sit with me. I mean, come to the spiritual realm. Or come sit your ass down. Come sit with me. All right, and then that's the judgment that goes forth, for Jake, man.
How many videos we've seen of Jake, they get shot, and then they'll make a video in the hospital, still bleeding, playing around.
Yeah.
I went to school with a Jake that did that. He had got shot and was in the hospital, dancing, making a joke, and then not too long after he got shot again. But you know what happened?
That Tupac shit. Five shots couldn't stop me. I took it and smiled. I was like, okay.
It's discouraged.
And that nigga knew the truth.
It says here. It says the impact of a crisis generally breaks down along these lines: economic and social burdens. It says women are more likely to work in informal economies or frontline service sectors. During widespread emergencies, they take on increased unpaid caregiving responsibilities, which forces many out of the workforce.
Hey, how they gonna survive on not getting paid? But they need nurses when these various crises happen. They need caregivers for elderly that obviously can't care for themselves. That's pretty much what that's going into.
And it says here, AI, it says over 300,000 black women lost their jobs or were pushed out of the workforce, driven by sweeping federal government layoffs, rollbacks to diversity, DEI initiatives, and automated hiring biases. So during this period, the overall unemployment rate for black women surged from roughly 5.4% to highs exceeding 7.1%.
Those.
Automated hiring bias as AI.
Yep.
You ain't AI interview your ass now.
It just used to be prideful that they got a high paying job or a good paying job. And we running circles around these men and this and that.
We should say, man, they the so-called the most educated.
Right.
They fill all these colleges, they got all the degrees, all the masters, all the doctrines. But niggas with doctrines and masters can't get jobs right now.
I saw a video of a black woman. She's saying that she's having trouble finding a man because she has a master's. She graduated from college at 23, has it all together. So she can't find a man that's at a higher level than she is in the world, educated wise, So it's like
they out there, but they don't want you.
Exactly.
But the attitude though.
Yeah.
Like the men don't give a fuck about, men don't care about your degrees.
No.
Men don't care how smart you think you are, educated, you know?
Running either way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it comes with an attitude.
Yeah, and it doesn't translate into what a man needs.
It's,
What
Can
you
you imagine marrying that woman?
yeah, bro. Cause she thinks you and her are 50-50.
She thinks she's smarter than you.
She thinks she's on the same level.
She's smarter than me.
She can make household decisions,
Mhm.
you know, for the family because she feels like, well, I'm a breadwinner just like you are.
I was doing it when I was single.
Yeah. So all you're gonna do is be in competition with her.
Right, right.
You know.
The working
Men-
woman is not a nurturing woman. So like,
No, you saying it because the men really just want obedience and service. That's it. You know? And then, but see, the same women that are breadwinners, what do they really want? That's why she's the one you're talking about, or that type of woman that you're talking about. She wants to pay no bills. She wants to have a soft life.
Right.
You know? She making all that money, but she ain't making it for him. To pay. That's why Kevin Samuels was cutting right through y'all. Y'all cheered this man's death on, because he was cutting through every lack of logic that you ever had. He said, how once you get pregnant or whatever, how much percentage of significant bills do you want to pay? They was like, nah, yeah, I didn't think so.
It's still like the point is that you can't be you can't be somebody's baby mama basically, right? And then still have all these demands and requirements for the next man.
Yeah.
You know, oh, he has to have this, he has to do that to have a chance with me. Like, what are you thinking here? You know, that's gone.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
That's why the Lord's gonna up them plagues, because it's gonna set everything in its rightful place. You know, you basically you're not gonna have it like you used to have it. You know, all that's gonna be cut out. You're just gonna be desperate in need of a man.
This is the end of feminism.
Amen. You ain't gonna be worrying about how much he make. You know, what he drive, how tall he is. None of that's gonna even be none of that's gonna be relevant. You're just gonna be in dire need of a man.
And there's a lot of women out here that's kind of at that point where they in their 40s and like, man, if I want a man, I gotta get with his program, whatever his program is, I gotta get with it. And there's a few women out there that have come to that conclusion. Like, you know, ain't nobody want your old ass. You know?
Right.
Even this young woman, bro. This young woman, early 20s. You know, they don't have the wisdom. They don't have the upbringing. They're not taught to be wives. They're not taught to be caregivers, man. This whole society is just corrupt, man. It's rotten. You know, it's rotten, man.
And women did that to try to level the playing field of older women.
Well, the Lord gonna knock them back into their default settings.
Yep.
And,
R.V. said, brother say, right?
by destroying this place, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's destroying what they love. Babylon.
I got a precept. You want to finish reading or what you had?
I mean, you can get your precept.
Isaiah 32:9 is GMT. It said, you women who live an easy life, free from worries, listen to what I am saying.
Yeah, coming. And how do they get basically free from worries? Well, Esau set up safeguards for them, a government assistance, the teats and all that the scripture speaks about, right? So they have government assistance. They're easy. They get loans and all these different what you call it? Job opportunities.
Social services.
Yeah, social services before men do. Hey, and the Lord's like, okay, watch. I'm gonna show you how things get when I crash this bitch, man. You know.
You may be satisfied now, but this time next year you will be in despair because there will be no grapes for you to gather. You have been living an easy life, free from worries, but now tremble with fear. Strip off your clothes and tie rags around your waist. Beat your breast in grief because the fertile fields and the vineyards have been destroyed, and the thorn bushes and briars are growing on my people's land.
That's the legislation on it for the teachers.
That's starting right now, man. We keep seeing more videos of these, especially women, and you know, breaking down because their life sucks now.
Yeah.
They can't. The job market sucks. The dating market sucks. Everything sucks. in this place. And they're the first to actually feel it because they're weaker. So they complain.
And they talk about they talk about how they have more, you mentioned about how they have better jobs and better paying jobs, and they were ruling over men and all of this because of the social status from their job. But the jobs you chose were all fringe social cream jobs, like fat jobs. There was no meat and potato jobs that y'all were taking. Stuff that not essential workers were the ones hit the hardest.
And his jobs are not coming back because
Right.
this is a technocracy. AI and all these robotics, they're replacing you.
Exactly.
So Esau is doing away with human people.
You gotta hear your mouth.
That's gonna serve him. He's gonna do robots and AI. That's all he needs.
Imagine how much this man is wasting on HR because women are going in there complaining about harassment.
Yeah.
And then women going on maternity leave. And then men not working at their full potential because there's this woman and cheated on him or whatever's going on. So just erase the whole thing and program my new robot it's gonna be expensive up front, but in the long run, it's gonna pay off.
Gonna pay for itself.
It's gonna pay for itself by 2 years in. In 5 years, you're making a lot of profit off of it now. Ain't called out, ain't called in sick, work 7 days a week, ain't gotta hear, oh, I don't feel good. Well, every 30 days or 21 days or whatever is an issue. It's not gonna have none of those problems.
It's too hot.
Yeah.
Turn
the AC
You're
on.
working like a warehouse where
Mm-hmm.
it's hot as fuck in the warehouse. You go up in there, they might got a few swamp coolers or some fans or whatever, but it's fucking hot in the summertime. Chicks, all you hear is them complaining about how hot it is and I can't work like this and
You know who's the worst? You know who the worst one is, bro.
yeah.
In the
I ain't never seen a
Worse.
woman
Yeah,
plumber.
like they can't even they can't function in certain environments.
yeah.
A woman plumber.
Right.
They need to be comfortable
Yeah.
for them to function.
Yeah, man.
Showing you that they're the weaker vessel. The men, they getting it done, they knocking it out. They wiping the sweat, they staying hydrated, getting the work done. It's mainly them talking, man, complaining.
Pastor Ramla, we spoke on that too in his lesson. He's like, a lot of these women, most of these women, they want to be paid until it's time to do head shit.
Yeah.
Right.
One of the comedians like, hey babe, go see what that noise was outside.
I just saw a video. It was 5 women. They couldn't change a tire, bro. A man had to pull over and change the tire for them.
And that's what they say about any kind of adversity or crisis. They have the ability to call a man right now.
Yeah.
Oh no, my husband's beating on me. 911. Here comes another masculine man, or more masculine man with more firepower to stop him.
I like when a woman, police
You
officer
see them getting slung around and thrown around, and nobody's respecting them. Jake had his hands cuffed already, and a woman was trying to get him in the car. He just started tossing it around, just about twisting like this. Stop, put your head down. Just playing with her. He's already subdued in cuffs. He's going to jail, but on the way he was just gonna play with her.
Because he could. Men to pull up.
Mm-hmm.
That's the taxpayers' money.
Woman cops.
Bad profession.
I got a precept real quick. 1 Corinthians 11:2. Now I praise you, brethren, that you remember all things and keep the ordinance as I deliver them to you. But I would have you know that the head of every man is Hamashiach. And the head of the woman is the man. And the head of Hamashiach is the Most High. So there's an order to everything. And that order has been disrupted, yeah. The woman is trying to, Esau took the man out and the woman's trying to be the head, yeah.
It shall be a new thing in the earth, for women shall pass a man.
Can you look up that word, head? See what it says?
They try to go around the man.
Powerful.
Yeah, I got it.
Let's see what head says.
Everything that makes these women's lives comfortable was built by men. The reason why you're able to lay in your fucking apartment with AC because of a man. the vehicle you drive, the phone, everything these women love that it makes their life easier was created and built by man.
You got that hand.
It's the Greek word is kalaphe. It says the head both of men and often of animals. Let me go to the second one. It says metaphor, anything supreme, chief, prominent, a person's master, lord, of a husband in relation to his wife.
That's why when you hear men, whether it's the MGTOW, red pill community, or whether you hear brothers, the elders, apostles saying it, that the man is greater than the woman, that's not taken away from the woman's role or saying that she ain't nothing, but it's just saying it's a hierarchy. The man was made, created, stronger, smarter, greater precept.
They say that on one of the, I looked at the chat where it says, I said, why are women more vulnerable in a crisis? And it said physical differences. On average, men have greater upper strength and muscle mass and can provide an advantage in situations requiring heavy lifting, physical defense, or strenuous escape.
Hey, when you go into Genesis 1:1, about the Elohim, the angels that created the planet Earth itself, those are masculine spirits, man.
Right.
And those spirits are in the prophets today, man. It's preaching this word, man. It says that 1 Ezra 6, I believe 6:13, I believe. We're the servants that created heaven and earth, man. So that goes back to the Elohim that created this earth, man, through the blueprint of Yahweh Shemel Shah, man, which are masculine spirits, man. So you women, man, you women are gonna be humble, man. And the Lord is humbling you right now, man. It's not an overnight thing. It's not a flick of a light switch. You're gonna be humble. The Lord gonna break you down.
Yes,
Break your spirit down.
That's it.
It's gonna take time, man. But we see it, man. It's a beautiful thing, man.
Oh yeah, there's definitely a shift, going on, man. Because at the end of the day, this is all a facade that they've been putting up.
Yeah.
But now, the Lord is he's working a wonder in the earth, and now we're seeing that change. Y'all gonna start to. It's definitely gonna put you back in your rightful place.
Some of them.
The rest of you have to get trodden down, like the mire, man. That's just simply what it's gonna be. The apostles always say this, and this ain't, and it's not a joke. Like, this is something to really consider. Most of these women here in America more than likely ain't gonna make it. There's only gonna be very few women that make it out of here. But most of these women here in Babylon, it's not looking too good.
And women outnumber the men.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Ezekiel 9 was with, you got it, where it says, what you gonna say?
Yeah, this is Ezekiel 9, I'll start here at verse, I'll start 4. It says, and the Lord said unto him, go through the midst of the city, the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sign that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. And to the others he said in my hearing, go ye after him through the city and smite. Let not your eye spare, neither have ye pity. Slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children and women. But come not near any man upon whom is the mark, and begin at my sanctuary. Then they began at the ancient men which were before the house. But it mentions women, a lot.
Twice.
Yeah, twice.
When the Lord send that word out, the angels are going to be completely obedient. And they're not going to have, the angels don't have feelings like men. Men, feelings, empathy, and all that, men are subject to that, not the angels. The angels are not going to care how beautiful you are, how long your hair is, none of that.
The angels, that's one thing about the angels, man. Like, the Most High got them programmed to do His will. So feelings don't get involved. Like the brother was saying, they don't we go through the emotions being in the flesh. But angels, they're burning spirits, they're energy. Whatever the Lord programmed them spirits to do, they just do it. And the angel ain't gonna be like, well, nah, man, she built like she got a Coke bottle. Like I don't know if I can really, I don't know, nah.
And that's a cut to these, the Christian dogma of the Nephilim.
Yeah.
You know, see the daughters of, men, and they were fair. You know, no, man, the angels don't see, you know, a woman be like, oh yeah, she thick, man. You know, she look good, man. You know?
No, angels definitely don't have no respect in person.
Oh, man. The angels don't think like that. The angels married, neither given in marriage. They don't have them type of thoughts, you know.
That's why it was with me, just to prove that, let me go to Sirach. Where's it at? I think it's, it's Sirach 16 and 26. It says, the works of the Lord are done in judgment from the beginning. And from the time he made them, he disposed the parts thereof. He garnished his works forever, and in his hand are the chief of them unto all generations. They neither labor nor are weary nor cease from their works. None of them hinder another, and they shall never disobey his word. What are those in his hand that's able to do these wondrous works on the earth and bring all these judgments? Angels. The angels, man. And like, remember, we was talking about a little earlier how the angels are here to protect the elect. So if these women don't get in line, like when the Lord said to Israel, I will be an adversary to your adversaries, I will be an enemy to your enemies. Hey, that can very well be applied to the Lord's elect in this time. And if you women want to continue to be the enemy, as it says, then she that is my enemy shall see it. What do you think? Read between the lines. You know? And the Lord, he can get brutal. Miriam, that scared the life out of her, man. All she did was open up her mouth to her brother, and the Lord smote her ass with leprosy.
Yeah, but he didn't smoke Aaron.
Didn't do nothing to her. They both rebuked Moses, but he only plagued her. And then she had to be put out from the camp and put away until the leprosy was clean and she was back to herself. So just imagine what she had to deal with being on her own, you know, separated from the camp. Animal, you in a desert.
Yeah.
You know?
You pretty much in no man's land.
Yeah.
Because you're outside of the camp, outside of the city.
Yeah.
Lord is brutal. Lord is a man of war, man. You think about all the wars that's annotated in history, man. It's brutal, man. You know, we watch these movies, you know, these period pieces. You know, the Romans, Greeks, and even our people, man. You know, fighting each other. You can see how brutal war is, man, and how many people being murdered, sent back to the spiritual realm. You know, man. The Lord is rough, man. Very rough.
A lot of these women, female influencers.
Or they've been getting put to death.
Hell yeah.
Taken out.
Mm-hmm.
All these social media influencers, TikTokers.
Yep.
The Lord is calling them back up. Judging them. Constant judgment. Ashapat, man.
That's the angels. Spirits of vengeance. Angels get on these people and commit these acts, these evil acts, man. You know?
Let me do a quick Google real quick, since we didn't mention that.
Yeah,
'Cause it seems like a lot of them.
before it's all said and done, the Lord, He's gonna make the people of the planet Earth bow before Him, man. You know, in fear and reverence, man. Before everything's said and done, man. You know? And we're the prophets, we said to forewarn you, man, about what's coming, man. It ain't gonna be pretty. The world is the Lord's stage, man. You know? And He gonna get busy.
Like you said earlier, the angels, all these calamities and the evils happening in the earth, that the angels is in control of that. Like in Sirach 39, it speaks about the spirits created for vengeance. To back up the precept you just read, it says that they shall rejoice in His commandment, and they shall be ready upon earth when need is. So the angels is on go.
It says, this gave just a few lists. Seemed like it was more than this, but this is what they gave. Yeah, that bitch, Brianna Johnson, aka Dream Doll Bree. She got killed in that drive-by in Florida. 21 years old, proud as hell.
Yeah.
Ashley Robinson, also known as Ashley Janae, 31-year-old lifestyle influencer who died in Tanzania. She was dealing with the Edomite.
Yeah, that's her?
Yeah, she
Yeah,
had,
okay.
she
Yeah.
And they said the bitch didn't come back.
That was the thing,
Yeah.
I'll probably torture her, that is.
The shit nigga probably fed her to a lion.
And we're gonna quit.
Girl, ain't no evidence.
Isabel Veloso, a 19-year-old Brazilian influencer who died after a prolonged battle with Hodgkin's lymphoma. So these random rare illnesses and diseases. Yeah, because most of these people that's in that field, they're super proud. You know, they get high-minded and heady because they have a following. They got a bunch of followers. They get a bunch of likes. A lot of positive comments. So they're super prideful. And the Lord, he hates a proud look.
So in the last days, perilous times shall come, men shall be lovers of their own selves.
That's it.
So you got the internet clout. That's a demon. All these people trying to, put up, all kind of pictures and videos of themselves. They get the likes and comments, and they get a proud look on their face, man. A proud look on their spirit, man. Some of these people reading the comments, they be committing suicide. That's happened before too, man.
What is that, bro? Oh, okay. There was another one that was living in Dubai and fell off the 27th floor. Some Brazilian influencer.
Yeah, because
that just happened like last week or 2 weeks ago or something.
everybody has a void in them, man. It's that even though they come off as their life is great on social media, deep inside, man, their soul is missing something, This place right here, this system, this world right now, it will, if you're not in this, if you don't have the spirit, you will be overcome, man. You will be overcome for sure. People are already breaking down everywhere. Their will to live, their will to keep fighting, it's slowly just dwindling, man. So people are already ready to be taken out. Women are ready to be taken out, bro. I keep seeing a lot of women that are just like, I don't have the will to live anymore.
It's that one chick that took herself out.
Yeah.
She did that video, or last video on Instagram or whatever, crying about how her life is fucked up. No help. She can't take care of her kids by herself anymore. And, she was done. She was crying her heart out, and then she took herself out.
And a lot of these niggas ain't coming to save these hoes.
Terrible. So they still saying, hey, get your passport.
Yeah.
Also,
I got a real quick one.
Yeah.
Wisdom of Solomon 1:12. Seek not death in the era of your life, and pull not upon yourself destruction with the works of your hands. Commit suicide. Man. That's a law not to do that if you're an Israelite. You know.
also, like what you were saying about the women, when you take a look at the statistical numbers of who's on psych meds the most is women, man.
Yeah.
You know, so with them not being able to pay for their essentials, ultimately they ain't able to pay for them psych meds either. So they bugging out, you know, these all pharmaceuticals, not able to stay on them, and it just fucks with their mind, man.
Yeah, I'm taking it. It messes up their mind.
Yeah.
Press, man.
They become dependent on that antidepressant or whatever stimulant they try to take to suppress whatever they're going through.
Right.
That's pharmakia. That's pharmakia. That's demons on there.
Yeah. And that shit don't do nothing but make them bitches feel sorry for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
You know. Yeah.
So if she got a man and buried children, should be, you know, children supposed to bring happiness to the mother.
Your children give your ass something to do.
Yeah, keep you busy.
Yeah.
Reason to live.
Proverbs 24:10, if thou faint in the day of adversity, thy strength is small. Yeah. So these women, time is gonna prove, you know. And hey, you know, some of you sisters that are watching the background, you know not to be offended by any of this, because this is all factual, you know, and if you knowing that the Lord is getting ready to bring the worst of the worst before we come into the new heaven and the new earth, you should actually take the message very seriously and shouldn't be offended by any of it.
Yeah.
Because you want salvation. The scriptures talk about how you men, you know, you gotta gird up your loins. You gotta put off the weak nature. You gotta put away mortal thoughts. So we gotta bear whatever we getting ready to come into. And we know that if we don't do that, we're through. We're done. You see? So the Lord he's having these things happen for a reason. You know, he's really trying to break you down, and it's not just for it's not for your destruction. Like it said in Second Ezra's, was it the 15th or 16th chapter? These are scourges for amendment. It's to get you to change your ways. He said that in Ezekiel, the 18th chapter. Why should you die, O Israel? His pleasure is not to just completely destroy you. But he said, but why will you die, O Israel?
Like you said, it's not to destroy you. The destruction comes when you don't adhere to what the Lord is trying to tell you. Like it speaks about the chastising, right? It speaks about how when your fathers after the flesh, they chastise you for their pleasure, but he for your benefit. So everything the Lord is putting you through is for you to learn from and to grow from. But when you don't mind it, when you disregard it, that's when destruction comes.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, man. So the scourges are going to keep coming. You know, it's not going to give you a break, give you a time to breathe, give you time to, and whoever got their ass whooped, and then your parent was like, all right, I'm going to give you 2 minutes to you go sit on your bed, I'm going to give you 2 minutes, and then come back, and then I'll finish whooping your ass. Nah, it didn't happen like that. I'm gonna let you get 2 minutes. Matter of fact, you can go and cut on your cartoons real quick. Pour you some cereal, but I'll be back and then we can resume me whooping your ass. Nah. So the Lord is not, he's done with that. He's finna start just putting belt to ass, and ain't nothing you can really do about it because you did not hearken to him. He was not listening. Like we was going into earlier, how it's going to be overwhelming. The overwhelming part is to basically break you down. All right. Was that Proverbs? Somebody get Proverbs 1 in the A and P. Like around the 20th. I mean, like the 24th, 23rd verse. In the A and P. Yeah, this fool Trump. He's hey, the way the Lord is using him, man, you can just already tell. The Lord is using him to break these things, break all these societal tropes that we're used to. He's gonna break it all down so that everybody can start suffering. Take away all the comfortability. And then they're hitting that possible ground invasion.
Yeah.
And they're threatening to assassinate Trump.
Yeah.
He's on their hit list.
So what's that ground invasion? Hey, Armageddon.
Armageddon.
Gradual.
Yep. So when that happens, it's all out war. It's all out war. And in the time of war, it's heartless. It's heartless, man. Talk about the love of many waxing cold. In a time of war, you got it.
Proverbs 1, starting at verse 24 in the A and P. Because I called and ye refused to answer. I stretched out my hand and no one has paid attention to my offering.
And this is to our whole nation. Out of all the tribes, the men and the women. All right. The Lord spoke to you through his prophets. He was trying to give you counsel.
Long suffering.
Long suffering. Out here for decades. In all kind of extreme weather. You know, whether it's super hot, super cold outside. Your brothers, you know, going through experiences and then coming back and giving you testimonies. Brothers out there going through infirmities. Come on, man. Still, but still able to, you know, bring the message to you. Still available to feed your spirit. To constantly exhort you. You know, edify you, build you up, enlighten you, get you prepared, you know, spiritually and mentally. Go ahead.
And you treated all my counsel as nothing and would not accept my reprimand.
It's like it all didn't mean nothing to Jake. That was a big slap in the face.
That reprimand is the prophets, the scourges,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
All the scoffing.
Yeah. Sending the prophets out week in, week out, putting up these multiple lessons where it's no excuse for Jake out there not to have the full understanding of the scriptures. The name, the mark of the beast, you know, all these, any and everything that the Christian church has brought out and deceived you with. The prophets have the answers. What it really means, but what did Jake do? What did he say that? Like, pulled the arm. You know, was that? He pulled away the shoulder and was Zechariah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's disrespect on multiple levels. Whether Jake go to the parody route and they make little so-called funny videos and they mocking the prophets, or the ones that just straight up disrespectful and then they say, man, y'all shut up, man. Y'all too. You ain't mocking us though, because this is the Lord speaking, and the Lord is not mocked. Back in verse 26, it says, I also will laugh at your disaster. I will mock when your dread and panic come. When your dread and panic come like a storm, and your disaster comes like a whirlwind, when anxiety and distress come upon you as retribution, then they will call upon me wisdom, but I will not answer. They will seek me eagerly, but they will not find me. Because they hated knowledge and did not choose the fear of the Lord, that is, obeying him with reverence and all-filled respect. They would not accept my counsel, and they spurned all my rebuke. Therefore they shall eat of the fruit of their own wicked way, and be satiated with the penalty of their own devices.
Yep.
For the turning away of the naive will kill them, and the careless ease of self-righteous fools will destroy them. But whoever listens to me, wisdom, will live securely and in confident trust, and will be at ease without fear or dread of evil.
Yeah, man, and that's those who were obedient, who took it serious. They're gonna be the ones that's gonna be protected. But the rest of our people that was careless, didn't care, you know, you followed after your own way or whatever you thought was the right way. Hey, the Lord's gonna you watch what he does. The anguish and distress is gonna overwhelm you.
You read in Psalms 91, because thou hast made the Lord your refuge, even the Most High thy habitation, he's gonna give his angels charge. The Lord is gonna give his angels charge only over certain Israelites, not all.
Yeah. Yeah, man. So that's just something to, Jake, they don't be taking nothing serious, man. And that's their problem.
Yeah.
Too entertained,
Not enough fear of the Lord in the world.
Yep.
That's why they think everything is a joke and prophets are a joke, and we got, the words that you speaking are not, what to say in Ezekiel 12, the vision that he seeth is afar off. That's old Bible folklore and all that stuff. Like, nah, this Bible is a living book.
It's your book.
Yeah.
It's a book for the Israelites.
Uh-huh.
You mock your own heritage, man.
There's Ezekiel 33 and 30 in the NLT. It says, Son of man, your people talk about you in their houses and whisper about you at the doors. They say to each other, come on, let's go hear the prophet tell us what the Lord is saying. So my people come pretending to be sincere. Y'all gonna be out here next week?
Yeah.
What's your YouTube channel?
It's going and when the shit get really bad, it's still gonna be something that come out there in that same sentiment. Okay, what's going on? And when we don't
Only when something,
right,
when adversity, when,
yeah.
Like if what they call it, when the name of the, like when there's an event that happens, like a false flag or a terror attack.
National what's it called?
Shit hit the fan.
National emergency.
Yeah, pretty much. When there's a situation that happened, like some domestic or a terrorist attack or whatever the case happens, it seems like that's the only time when Jake will be serious enough to want to inquire. When everything is just, it seems to be normal to them, it don't even cross their mind. They think that we're just, out there just trying to fuck with people and be negative,
Hate the white man.
Yeah. It says, and sit before you, they listen to your words but they have no intention of doing what you say. Their mouths are full of lustful words, and their hearts seek only after money.
Yeah, we always say that. If we were speaking on how to keep the black dollar in the neighborhood and build a black community, you know, all that bullshit.
Marching for niggas that get killed.
Right. If we was about that, oh, it'd be people up there at least willing to hear the prophets and, you know, but we ain't talking about, we talking about getting the money, we ain't talking about getting the Lord's money.
Right.
You know, building up our faith for that time of trouble and adversity, you know, but we ain't talking about, we're not talking about shit that pertains to this world. We're just talking about some worldly shit and on some, or what's that nigga name, Professor Griff type shit, niggas be all ears.
Yeah, that's what I meant. A black swan.
Oh, Black Swan, yeah.
A black swan event.
Mm-hmm.
Let something like that happen in the States. That's when niggas want to, you know, they want to come out with you know, seriousness and not like, you know, what could I do?
You know?
It's always been our people's nature, man. Always wait till the last minute. That's why it said in Hosea, in their affliction, they will seek the Lord early. That's only when Jake is afflicted and they're going through some shit. That's okay, I need answers now. What's going on?
Right, you could, nigga could be atheist, but when he in his deathbed going through some shit, dying, God, you know?
Or they want the priest in the hospital to come pray for him.
Yeah. Start calling on God,
He
man.
can't save himself. Shit.
Yeah. And right now they having the ATM ban or whatever. But it's dealing with crypto. So not everybody's affected by that. Just millions of people that deal with crypto are affected by it. But just imagine if it just goes widespread and now everybody that uses ATMs.
Like Greece.
This is nothing but a test.
Yeah, that's all it
That's all
is.
it is, a test.
All they need to do is just one day,
Mm-hmm.
just hit the system
Yeah.
and let everybody wake up and find out what the fuck is happening. And people just finna lose it.
Mm-hmm.
Everything in your account you ain't got access to right now. You can't even touch it. Now you in a panic. Oh shit!
I gotta pay
I got this due. I got that due. What am I gonna do?
Yeah.
That's when the perplexities start hitting you.
It was a couple months ago. I think it was Wells Fargo.
Mm-hmm.
All the people, they accounts was like frozen. Nobody could take out money, and they was losing. They was at the bank losing. They're like, man, what we supposed to do? They're like, hey, call customer service. Everybody was mad, man. But it was only that one little isolated situation. But just in that, like the elder said, imagine that widespread.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna lose their shit, man.
Yep. It says you are very entertaining to them, like someone who sings love songs with a beautiful voice, or plays fine music on an instrument.
Yeah, entertaining. That's all they really find the prophets. The apostle was going into that, how back in the day, it'd be niggas that would literally pull up lawn chairs to in front of the camp just to, you know, see him cuss Jake out or whatever. Like it was entertainment.
That's why you have these comedians do their little skits.
Yeah.
You know, making a mockery because it's just all entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the Apostle Paul said, we're a spectacle unto men.
Yeah.
It says they hear what you say, but they don't act on it. But when all these terrible things happen to them, as they certainly will, then they will know a prophet has been among them.
Too late now. And now you got the judge, nigga.
Yep. So, hey, we'll end it on that note. You know, hey, it is what it is, man. But the blood's gonna be off our hands. Okay, the Lord's gonna cause the tongues of our mouth to cleave to the roof of our mouths that we should not reprove in that time. When that happens, famine of the word. The Lord is he's shutting down. Now it's judgment time. All right. So, you know, hopefully y'all were edified. We're gonna give all the honor, all the praise and glory to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Kakarash.
The ones to the elder apostles and bishops. The great millstone, as always, peace, blessings, and citation to you. Shalom.
Shalom.
I mean,